Well, hello everyone and welcome back. It is February 15th. I hope everyone had a solid and lovely Valentine's Day, but we got to get right back into the Dota action here. It's the major All-Stars tournament. And of course, this is going to be taking place at the LAN final in Malaysia. $100,000 base prize pool that is going to be crowdfunded by you if you choose to go into that Dota store and get the ticket. And with that ticket, you will help support these players and teams and everyone involved. And of course, you have access to watch all the matches inside the Dota TV client. Maybe you hate my camera work, so be it. Get in there and do it yourself. Plus, you get those sweet little item drops if you like the heroic stuff. But let's get at the action in hand here, bringing you the coverage for this event. The English coverage, of course, is us over at Beyond the Summit. Myself, KotLGuy. I'm not going at it alone, though. I got my good buddy, Mr. David Blaze, joining me once again remotely. I hope you're back and amped up and ready for some more NA Dota action, man. How you doing?
Most definitely. I've had a nice weekend, and now looking forward to this matchup here. Voidboys versus Leviathan. Obviously, we've seen a lot from Leviathan over the past few months here. They had a nice little run in the Summit 2 qualifiers, and just since then, they've been really making some noise, showing what they can do, and they're all tagged up and ready to go. So really looking forward to see what new meta strats come out from these guys here. And the Voidboys, I'm actually just going to be learning a lot from them in general, just because of the fact that I haven't seen too much from them. I've seen 2 games. They look pretty solid in both of them, and looking forward to seeing how they match up against Leviathan.
Yeah, I have personally not casted a match of the Voidboys since the Summit 2 early pre-qualifier. They were knocked out pretty early in that, so we didn't get to see a lot from them, but there's a bit of promise, and they've been showing some hope. They took down Lucretia as of recent, plus Root Gaming, which, you know, take, of course, with a grain of salt, you know, with how NA Dota is in the scene and where really what team matches up where. We've seen teams like Complexity be at the top, then go to the bottom, and now they're looking really good. Leviathan also, through the Summit 2, is really the storyline that built this team up and got a lot of people behind them, and then they fell off a bit, and then they kind of came back. I know that they have been... They started off with a very nice feel of getting the mid lane ogre or maybe the Precious Jenkins Pudge and stuff, and they would catch a lot of their opponents off guard. They ran the early carry Wraith King Troll before Troll was really in the meta. They were running it with the Shredder Troll, so they were very good at taking teams out of their comfort zones. But I know when I talked to Jenkins, he's been very much trying to just conform to more what's in style, what works, and we'll see if that's going to be the case. They've opened up the draft right now against Voidboys with a Batrider pick, and on the other side, we're going to be doing the 1-2 punch between a Dazzle and a Naga Siren.
Yeah, really interesting combo to open with against the Batrider. It's kind of a counter pick in the sense that you can do a couple things to the Batrider to keep him from pulling your ally out of position. You can immediately, as soon as you see the lasso, pop the Song of the Siren. You can try to catch him in the end snare. Or if worst comes to worst, you can go for a long-range Shallow Grave to at least buy him a few seconds there. And the Axe being banned out allows that to be that much more potent. But beyond that, you get a nice little offensive combo in terms of physical damage based on the fact that during the Naga Siren song, you actually get to apply weave to your enemies or to yourselves, and that will continue to tick even if they are invulnerable. So that's a really nice synergy. Along with that, the mirror images, you can shadow wave that for a pretty big nuke. So there's a lot of cool ways that these two can work together offensively as well as in reaction to the Batrider off initiation.
Yep, and with that, an intriguing thing to get that Naga Siren so early. You know, you're kind of putting your strat out there. But then again, I've even seen Wheel as of recent run Naga support. So having that flexibility early on is just a very, very great tool. There's going to be the Troll, as talked about with Leviathan. It's you know, only going to be more of a prize pick, considering it's even more of a top-notch grab than it once before when they were grabbing it. And also, if any of you hat bettors out there were interested, the Dota 2 Lounge odds for this matchup, this was interesting to me. Voidboys are a 71% favorite over Leviathan. So I guess a lot of the recent performances from Voidboys has really influenced that quite a bit. I'm actually quite surprised to see it that dramatic in their favor against a team like Leviathan, who are, you know, one of those teams to kind of be at that tier 2 mark just below where EG is as of recent, considering the fact that Fire has disbanded and kind of reformed into a new team. So interesting to see how things are going to be developing here in NA Dota. But here we go. Banning phase to come through, and ban on the Shadow Demon leads me to believe that possibly an Omni Knight could be considered here. It just seems very intriguing to see a Purge hero like that be taken out of the mix so early in the draft. Does that kind of raise a brow for you as well, Blaze?
It's very interesting, but I think it would
10
be that they're
seconds
afraid of the
remaining.
tri-lane right here. The Shadow Demon Dazzle Naga Siren is actually one of the most powerful
5
kill lanes
seconds
in
remaining.
existence, because like Naga Siren can, for a couple minutes at a time, she can actually solo her lane in the safe lane
Reserve
pretty
time.
well, and the Shadow Demon and Dazzle can roam towards like the mid lane. But the big thing that you're looking for is the combo of Disruption
Dire
into
team
getting
back.
those illusions up, either Nagas or just relying on the Eridar's illusions to pop up, and you get a big Shadow Wave nuke. You've got some negative armor from the Riptide, and you have potentially the Ensnare to guarantee that kill. A Batrider would have a really hard time finding gold and experience on the bottom
10
lane if the
seconds
Shadow Demon
remaining.
was in play, and they were really just afraid of that tri-lane combo.
5 seconds
So with
remaining.
that, really thinking hard here about this one. Voidboy is actually banning out their own Void. Very intriguing.
Reserve
But
time.
here we go. Shadow Fiend going to be taken out of the mix. We saw
Radiant
Shadow
team
Fiend run
back.
dominant through DAC, and
Radiant
more teams have
team
been kind of adapting it to their lineup regardless of the
Tidehunter.
former advantage of being more on the Radiant side. But yep, there it is.
Dire
Tidehunter
team
going to be picked up right here. So you got the big team fight happening. So with the synergy between him and the Naga Siren, I mean, even the Dazzle and the Weave setup is already very, very potent. Hopefully not banking too much on all these ultimates, but then again, if they need to create the space, if this is indeed going to be the core farming Naga, Tidehunter's got to be one of the better ones to grab. Leviathan, though, still need to get supports. Rubik had already been banned, which is a very smart choice with the Tide here, but they
10
might need to consider
seconds
something
remaining.
else, being able to close the gap. Lion, Vengeful Spirit also out of the pool.
5
Witch
seconds
Doctor had been a
remaining.
top pickup from time to time. It just really depends on what kind of lockdown they're looking for with this
Reserve
Bat
time.
Rider. Skywrath Mage used to be something they could kind of put together with this Bat Rider, plus the silence wouldn't be too shabby. I'm really interested.
I actually think they really do need a silence in this game. They could go Silencer, Puck, or the Skywrath Mage as mentioned, and they're going to go with the latter. But
Radiant
yeah, the
team
problem is right now, Voidboys are very clearly building towards a huge wombo combo lineup. They have the Siren song to set up things like Weave and Ravage, and they can follow that up with other things. We've seen Warlock run with this composition. We have seen, I mean, any kind of AoE physical damage. If the Naga goes support, then you can get a Gyrocopter. Whatever you want. The bottom line is a good song will set up a full team wipe without any casualties, and that's the clear objective for Voidboys. Banning out both Faceless Void and Rubik makes it almost
10
impossible for a
seconds
Leviathan
remaining.
to respond to that kind of play. No Chronosphere, no Spell Steal.
5
Maybe
seconds
you could get like a
remaining
Global
of
Silence, but
pain.
the Skywrath Quick
Dire
Ancient Seal is going to be
team
the
pick.
answer for now.
So Queen of Pain now going to get picked up. Reminder, she was buffed quite a bit, so we get to see this hot lady a lot more often. The pure damage, very much real within her Sonic Scream. And for Skywrath Mage being grabbed now, it got great zoning potential on this Tidehunter, preventing him from getting a lot in the early laning stage. Curious what they're going to decide to do is their secondary follow-up. Silencer seems to scream out to me, but then you got kind of two very
10
selfless
seconds
supports,
remaining.
but being able to know when that jump is going to come, but Outworld Devour being
just
picked
going for
up.
the
Radiant
lanes.
team back.
Fourth
Yeah, I
pick.
actually like that instead of the Silencer. Like Silencer, I advocate him in a lot of drafts, and against a wombo combo lineup like this, all your Silencer has to do is just be like 2 screens away, nowhere near your teammates, so that they can't initiate on you, and you can break that down so they can't get the Ravage and the
10
Sonic Wave
seconds
combo
remaining.
together. But this is a different way to take it. The Troll Warlord, Bat Rider, and OD
Dire
are
team
extremely
back.
good in the laning phase, and OD against Queen of Pain, it's just disastrous. I mean, they could try to like say, okay, well, the Quap won't win that lane, she'll go safe lane and put the Naga mid, but then she's not really accomplishing much either. She's a melee hero, she'll get, I don't know, a dozen CS, but OD
10
will be the
seconds
overpowering
remaining.
factor, and they just draft for the lane, and Voidboys don't really have a great response here.
5
Like, they
seconds
really
remaining.
don't have a great way of addressing this mid lane, because they don't have like a duo lane combo. The Dazzle
Reserve
support
time.
is not going to be really able to sit there and
Radiant
leech
team
experience
pick.
and zone out the opposition. Maybe they could go for something like a Lich, which would do that for them, but otherwise, yeah, they just have a lot of issues with this OD.
Is it too late to switch this Nago back to support and get someone else to maybe pick up a mid laner, move Queen of Pain over to the safe lane? Or do you think Naga doesn't really have any potential in this lineup as it is as a support to begin with? Is it that necessary? Seeing something like an OD picked up and risking that your lane could be pretty dominated,
10 seconds
is it
remaining.
worth to make an audible call like that and grab like the, I don't know, the Viper or
5
the Razor
seconds
at this point?
remaining.
Yeah, I never think it's too late for that if the team can play that way. If you
Yeah.
can play the support Naga style, if you
Reserve
practice
time.
it, great. And it looks like that's what they're going to run.
Okay.
Naga Siren will be a
Dire
support
team
as they
pick.
pick up the Medusa here. And although she struggles against OD once it picks up the Aghanim Scepter, until that point in time, Medusa can just overwhelm the opposition. And it fits pretty well in just an auto attack centric hero, focuses on right click damage. And they did ban out the Dwarven Sniper, who probably would have been the best to match up against the OD. The other one I was thinking about, maybe Viper could have done okay. But they go with the Medusa. They go for something that can guarantee their mid to late game. And
10
again, that just
seconds
means that the
remaining.
OD Aghanim Scepter is the only way that they're going to bail themselves out of this game.
5 seconds remaining.
I know they already have their off-lane Bat Rider here, and they're looking for a possible secondary support. Is maybe running a Nyx Assassin
Reserve
support
time.
wouldn't be too
yeah.
crazy going against a Medusa. Nyx is just so freaking good against Medusa, and the option's still there. Outside of that, maybe, I don't know, someone who eventually farms together a Necro Book. I don't see other good support options that could get the job done unless they want to just kind of change the tempo of the game. Maybe just go for some Hex instead and get a Shadow Shaman. Nyx support I don't think would be too terrible, though.
I do like the idea of Nyx support. The problem there is that he won't be meeting his full potential, and the fact that he will be deprived of experience. As a support, you're going to be sitting on those lower levels 1 through 8 for a very large chunk of the early game. And
5
actually, in
seconds
this
remaining.
matchup, you want your Spike Carapace, your Impale, as well as your Mana Burn all maxed out. They're all extremely powerful for the fights, but you know, if you can't actually get that experience, then you're just going to have too many issues. So again, they're focusing on their early laning phase, and Nusham in the jungle on the Enigma, already starting off with a couple
Prepare
Sentry
for
Wards.
battle.
They just want to get that golden experience momentum. They can push off of that with the Troll, with the Eidolons, and they can kind of snowball against a pretty greedy lineup, to be honest. Voidboys, they have a lot of team fights potential once every few minutes, but it still takes about 10 minutes for that ulti combo to come online in the first place.
It looks like on the side of Voidboys also we're going to get an early smoke to the jungle. They want to make sure Nusham doesn't get a lot in that jungle. They can block it early, so I'm going to lead in with some very quick introductions. On your dire side for the team Leviathan here, the Leviathan kids, it's going to be Nusham on that Enigma. We got Shredder playing his signature Troll Warlord, Flying Zebra on the Skywrath Mage. Shibby is going to be playing your Outworld Devourer, and that is going to leave Jenkins on the Bat Rider. Now Fly's going to move in first on your Naga. They want that camp. It's ours now. We're going to plant this sentry or obs or whatever we got here to get the job done, and they're going to bully back Leviathan here. So they have to expect that Nusham could be in a bit of a struggle in the early laning setup. There's Fly now going to be dropping that sentry. That blocks out one camp, and now they're going to block out the second one right there. So this is devastating for your Enigma. He does already have 2 sentries on hand, and he already moves over, probably banking on the fact that they have planted a ward there. We'll see if he can counter it, though. And I guess in the meantime, Blaze, if you would do me the honors by introducing the Voidboys.
Yep, we do have a couple stand-ins here, as well as one alias that isn't going to help us out too much. But we've got Fly running on the Naga Siren here. That is a support Naga for you guys, supporting alongside the Dazzle, who's going to be played by Xion. That's one of their stand-ins, the other being the Tide Hunter. He's going to be running your off-lane Tide, boots first, and that is Shark. So we've got Beyond playing the Medusa in the mid lane, going up against the OD. Not the easiest matchup, but not the hardest one we've ever seen. And finally, that leaves the Queen of Pain rotated over to the safe lane, and that's Mercy Please, at least as listed on Steam. He's got a couple others, 322 rep and stuff like that, but just general NA tags that won't really help you too much.
NA, memer kind of twitchy tags, yeah. So it seems like maybe once this team can maybe flourish, show some promise, these players will try to create an identity for themselves. But here we go, Jenkins early on. He's going to be taking on this tri-lane setup, just trying to stay close, get that XP. He went with that boots first build. Early Firefly here, and he's going to just try to get what he can if he needs to move over to the side. There's already Mud Golems, though, on that top camp, so he's not going to be able to easily burn it down, but he'll try his best to contest and just be in the mix. But he does not have a jungle to fall back on, which is the downside by having this Enigma on your team. It looks like he was able to de-ward one, and he's working with the birds now as he works on the next one. It's too late for the new camp to spawn, but at least it's not going to be ultra devastating for him in this jungle to start things out.
Yeah, it's actually really nice just putting those sentry wards. He knew exactly where they intended to block. He was able to clear out the one that was more important, the hard camp on the eastern side, and now finally opening up his medium camp here. He's still going to be able to rotate between these 3 camps, which is the most important thing for the Enigma. It's the safest way to farm, it's the fastest way to farm, and with a couple clarities to start him off, he'll get that soul ring out, and he'll rapidly put himself back in the driver's seat as one of the fastest junglers in the game early on. So this is going to be nice for him, but in the meantime, yeah, the Bat Rider, he will be very far forward. He's got to put pressure on. He's got to stretch himself out forward in order to make sure that he can get some experience, because he has no alternative.
I mean, the nice thing that Voidboys have going for him, of course, with turning this Naga into a support Naga as they contest over that bottom rune, you can see it is going to be the bounty snagged up from said Naga. But that song works so nice against the Bat Rider and his initiation. It's going to pressure him to get a BKB, but even then the ensnare will go through that BKB. So I got to say, Naga is one of those answers to a Bat that can really catch you off guard, and we'll see if it's something they fall back on.
Yeah, and thinking very, Shark up top is actually taking a lot of damage here. Enough slows come out, and they just bring him down. Nice combo between Flying Zebra and Shredder, and they are actually able to get a nice first blood against the Boots first Tide. He will be able to TP out pretty quickly, but bottom lane, Jenkins will be hit by a slow. They will be in range for the ensnare, and it looks like they want to dive.
There they go, moving on forward. Poison Touch going to fly right there. He eats a bit of extra damage, but he's going to be fine. He flies up to get away, and he will live. One more Tango to work with to try to get his life back online, but even then, he will still be very, very wounded. That poison took him quite low at that point. So he'll live and walk away with that one. But yeah, top lane, Shredder gets it done. This guy had been playing some serious Troll Warlord even before it was all the rage. So he's no stranger to knowing when it's the right opportunity to play ballsy and man up and take dives like that to get the job done.
So they're going to be able to control this top lane really well, just between the Sky and the Troll, giving Enigma free farm in the jungle, and the OD, of course, is going to win his lane. So all they're worried about is the Batrider right now, only moving in towards level 3, but he will have his Tranquil Boots in about 250 gold. So that's the important thing, is when he gets those Tranquils out, it'll be so much more difficult to zone him out, and again, that ensnare you were talking about becomes that much more relevant. It's going to be relevant the entire game, as there is the possibility of an ensnare canceling a black hole, even with a BKB up on Enigma, so that might be frustrating for him. But overall, it's going to be the song usage, and because the long cooldown on the lowest rank, it's going to be about those first couple songs, most importantly.
Jenkins here kind of dancing on the side here with both the Naga and the Dazzle, trying to get a little piece of that pull pie between these side camps as they continue to build up the equilibrium right now for this Mercy Please Queen of Pain to get that early snowball started. Touching base with your mid lane as far as CS goes, OD's at 21-12. Lots of denies right there. Medusa's at 14-3, so we're expecting that she is going to have a struggle in this lane. But overall, Medusa, as long as she's not feeding over too many early kills, she can always just slowly build her way up into the late game nuisance. But OG's going to look to get the ball rolling sooner than later. Bottom lane, they're making a dive onto Jenkins. Net is going to be flying out, locking him in place. The rotation's going to come from Flying Zebra. He eats a lot of damage. They could get a double, but nope, Flying Zebra walks out away. So with the jump in coming on out, it's going to be Mercy Please with the Scream, who's able to help take down Jenkins.
Yep, that's a nice little combo there. And the Skywrath has nothing else to do on the lane. Like, he actually could go down if they get vision of him. It's going to be Batrider TPing, though. And it's going to be probably... I think there's actually this... Right after he heals up, should go right back down bottom. The Troll is going to be fine against the Tide up top, and it's very clear that there's going to be more dives coming if they don't have a response. So Skywrath probably needs to just babysit the bottom lane instead and leave a Tide into that one matchup. I want to talk about Tide's skill build a little bit real quick. He has actually yet to put a single point in Kraken Shell. It's actually put him a lot of difficulty on the lane, and this is he prioritizing stacking the Ancients so much. He actually, I guess, missed one, because he definitely made 2 stack attempts. But anyways, if he had a triple stack right now, it's not like he could farm it anytime soon anyways, because he doesn't have 8 points in Kraken, and yeah, it's just going to be a very long investment for him to get online. Eventually he'll get there, of course, but considering the Ancient Granite Golem aura, the fact that he is only level 3, and the fact that he did skill a little bit in Gush, it's going to be a hard time for him.
It's going to be a hard time for pretty much both offlaners. You're looking at Jenkins, who was already just brought down, and he still only has 1 CS. He is, though, benefiting by getting more XP out of the lane, as he's just over level 4, while your Tide is still at level 3, but he will have the benefit of working with those Ancients, so he's okay. Bottom lane, though, we could see contention. Fly's going to cut out with the silence, and they're going to move right on top. Jenkins going to grab up the bounty rune. From above, you're going to see the Dazzle dish out a small heal, but here comes Mercy Please, steps in with the Scream, and Jenkins is going to be forced to pull back. So they save their Fly support Naga, and they're going to have to walk away without being able to get the quick support takedown.
Yeah, and that's the last time they can make an aggressive play like that. It's great for them to control the rune, get the bounty up for the Batrider. He's going to be very close to Tranquils, but Queen of Pain is about to get her ultimate online. She has plenty of mana regen with her current item set, and that Sonic Wave, I mean, that takes a very large chunk of your effective HP out. Just 290 pure directly. It makes it so you have to be constantly worried about your positioning, because you essentially are already missing a third of your health by the time the fight begins.
The nice thing going for Leviathan, though, Nusham, since the contention of the camps at the start, he's found some good farm. He's level 7 at almost 7 minutes, which isn't too terrible. It's not like your puppy, 7 minute at 5, or level 7 at 5 minute mark, but he's still got the black hole at the ready. He does not have any mana, but with Soul Ring, he might be able to get something started here. He's thinking about checking out this bottom lane, it looks like, for now. So, you know, that black hole factor, even used or not, it's one of those mind game things that Voidboys will always have to be kind of worrisome about, as long as Nusham is missing.
They're baiting
from
this
the map,
so hard. The Observer Ward scouts out Jenkins, so he has to Firefly up to the high ground here, and they're going to bait it right into the black hole if they can. We'll see if they have enough damage to turn it around, though.
Here we go. Malphus, can he get both of them? He can. Flies on the outside, but does not have the level 6. They take down the Dazzle, and they get Mercy Please right after. Immediately, though, they're going to get a return kill, taking down the Enigma. So it ends up being a 2-for-1 trade, but Leviathan desperately needed a skirmish like that to go their way.
Yeah, I was actually very wary about that rotation, because there was no way the Enigma would have mana for the skill that he put the most points in, the demonic conversion. But just one black hole, getting a little bit of damage from both the Batrider, who has a kind of interesting 2-1-2 build, and the Skywrath, who provided sufficient coverage. They were able to get some nice kills there, and although there was one return, the Queen of Pain, she popped her Sonic Wave and she got nothing out of it, other than finishing up her Oblivion Stave, which I figure with a safe lane farming position, you'd assume would be coming out sometime soon anyways.
Naga in lane, dancing with very low life, just knows that there's not going to be any sort of nearby contention. Oh man, that Skywrath would love to move forward and get a concussive shot off, but it's not going to be happening. Naga will pull back. All the meanwhile, though, Shredder has been getting some serious farm in this top lane. 61-27 as far as CS. Top of the net worth about 4,500. Right next to him is going to be your OD mid lane. So both Shibby and Shredder did not have to get involved in that bottom lane skirmish, and they've been benefiting from some good old-fashioned me time and building up that early farm. So that could be very beneficial to them as the mid game does approach.
Yep. So we're going to be seeing the Troll build up a Helmet Dominator, which will allow him to just be a lot more direct in the fight. And this HP pool should be nearly full every time that the fights actually break loose. But beyond that, Medusa on the mid lane, she's actually been stacking camp, she's been jungling a lot, and she's really just avoiding the lane entirely because the OD just takes too much away from her. She doesn't have any real survivability when she doesn't have a mana pool. So she'll back off. She'll just focus on her very gradual jungle farm, even buying up a Quelling Blade, just to enhance that damage just a little bit more.
So funny side note that I am getting, or at least I've heard, for Shibby here, a guy who's been notoriously known for playing a ridiculously good Brewmaster. This is only his second time playing Outworld Devourer in a competitive match. So shaking off the rust. I know a lot of mid players haven't really been dabbling too much in the OD game unless, you know, it really fits the current draft. So we'll see if Shibby will be able to really bring it back here. I mean, it had been quite a while since I've seen an OD really run rapid, since like the TI3 days when it was just first pick, first ban worthy. It's been a lot more of a niche grab as of recent here, but still we have your Tide working with these stacks. It looks like he's getting some assistance from his supports to get it working, but back on mid lane, the second I look away, they tussle a bit with Mercy Please, but your Queen of Pain will be able to back away. And she's going to be going right for an Orchid. She already has one Oblivion Staff.
Yeah, I mean, she'll get there, but she needs another kill to actually make that happen, because her first kill and assist, those were pretty much givens, and she didn't really get much out of the second one. So she really needs to get the momentum so that Orchid timing is really good, and flanking in Smoke behind the Tide, they are going to be most likely able to bring down Shredder.
Oh man, he would be the prize grab and snare. It's going to be long, but it will catch. Mercury forward, they don't have Ravage, but they have the Scream. Sonic Wave could fly out if they want it, but Jenkins is going to be there to rotate and kind of force them back. He does have the lasso. He uses it on Fly, pulls him away. Fly does have the song, but he's silenced up. Not going to be able to get it off, and they will bring him down. A nice turnaround right there. The rotations coming through from the Leviathan pay off. They don't lose their precious troll, and they get their own support takedown.
Yeah, that was a little sloppy there. The initiation, of course, was long range, and Shredder is very quick with the Phase Boots and Berserker's Rage, but essentially, like, they didn't use either the Poison Touch or the Shadow Strike, which were both in range to try to bring him down. They just scream him, and they let him run at full movement speed after the Ensnare expires. So they didn't want to commit him full. The smoke, it was not as clean as they wanted it to be, and instead it's a turn against them. Though that is going to be the first lasso of the game, it still is going to fuel Jenkins' Blink Dagger timing, which would otherwise be like post 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's a very slow start for him, and you know, we were expecting that. It's not like he can easily go back to the jungle. That's Nusham's territory. So with getting involved with the kill top, it certainly does help. Bian has been here moving up on this Medusa. Still no mana for his Stone Gaze if something was to break out. I'm sure Leviathan do have eyes on that. Their black hole is once again up and at the ready here, and it looks like Voidboys don't want to stick around too much longer if they're not going to be taking objectives, so they split apart from this top lane scenario and will find their farm elsewhere. Another stack could be coming out here as Fly moves on in and will pull it back and away. Even this stack at this point is really big. It might have to take Shark on his Tidehunter plus maybe some Medusa help to get it done. It's just pretty swole of a stack. And you got the Golems, and reminder, the Golems are adding plus 15% health aura to all those creeps. It could be pretty girthy place.
Yeah, most definitely. They do not get that stack because there's like one dragon that just is chilling out. He's like, no, I don't really feel like going out today, guys. I'm just gonna read a book, watch the news.
Valve may have fixed your precious healing troll, but I have got a little bit of the same formula. I'm not going anywhere, all right, buddy?
Yeah.
Sorry. I hate that as a supporter pulls.
I think he was pulled recently, so there's some aggro manipulation, I'm sure, that
Yeah.
is the reason behind it. But nevertheless, they're investing a lot of time into the stack, and I really don't feel that the Tide is going to be able to farm it up for quite some time. It's going to be level 7 or 8 before he takes a stab at it. And by that point, I could see Leviathan actually looking to contest it. If they could get the troll right on the front lines there, trying to take out at least a few of the harder creeps, that would be huge. But at least for now, both Medusa and Tide have the potential to pick it up probably within the next 6 or 7 minutes, and it's going to be on Leviathan to put pressure out.
Uh-oh, here we go. OD moving forward. This is where he strides bets, going against Medusa, and he's going to bully her down. And we didn't really talk about that in the draft as well. This was a Medusa pickup into an OD already. So that is already a bit, I don't know, it's a bit concerning right now for Voidboys, but maybe they feel confident enough that they can stride past it. I haven't seen always the OD be successful against Medusa, just given the farm opportunity she could have, but Shibby's feeling pretty confident here. He pops his haste, and he's looking for top lane right here. They could get Shark. He moves forward. Yeah, this is going to be an easy grab. He's going to need some help. Maybe Dazzle needs to show up, but it's too late. Beyond was first on the scene, but Medusa's not going to help a whole lot, and Shibby gets the job done with that haste rune.
Yep, just getting a couple points in the Arcane Orb already. That pure damage really hits hard, and you're not going to be able to crack and shell block hardly any of that. The Anchor Smash does take down a lot of OD's damage, but it still would have been a kill one way or another just because the haste rune was available. But the one important thing is the route that the OD took did not bring him past the Ancients, and they still don't know about this big potential stack. In the meantime, Beyond, yeah, you're talking about that matchup. Essentially, in the lane, at least Medusa gets some farm, because she does have good right-click damage. She built up the Phase Boots, Wraithband, and Quelling Blade early, so she can last hit the creeps. But when it comes down to it, the Intelligence Steal does hurt her lane survivability, and when the OD picks up an Aghative Scepter to enhance his Sandy's Eclipse, since I believe he's rushing now, it might go BKB first.
Jenkins uses the smoke and the blink, but the song counter that we were expecting from Fly shows up, and they have a black hole, and they're going to turn it right on. The stream is going to fly out. Shredder is going to start to shred. They drop down 2, they drop down 3. Voidboys begin to fall apart, and Leviathan just dominate that fight. It looked like a great counter with the song, but they were not expecting the whole Leviathan troops to be there. A nice start with the black hole, and it was just decimation as Voidboys will lose 4. They don't take anyone from Leviathan down. Leviathan will also grab this tier 1 tower.
Radiant's middle
Yeah,
tower
that was
has
actually a
fallen.
really great response from Leviathan. It's all about what the heroes they picked here. You look at the play for TI2, you look back and say, okay, well, Light of Heaven had a BKB. Well, New Sham's got a Skywrath Mage to help him out. The Ravage was the only thing that would prevent the Black Hole from coming through. Shark was waiting for the perfect time when the song ended to pop the Ravage and stun everybody. But instant silence coming out from the Skywrath Mage, silencing the Tide, allowing the Black Hole to come through, and from there, it's a counter wipe the other way. Obviously not taking all 5, but giving them a 9-2 kill lead. On the initiation, that kind of came out. I guess the initiation was from Leviathan with the lasso, but Voidboy wanted to take that and turn it the other way, and it's a turnaround. Leviathan, they know how to really make these fights happen, and it's really on the back of that Skywrath silence.
This is going to put
Radiant's
Shark
bottom tower
a bit
is
away
under
from
attack.
that Blink Dagger being taken down once more, and it's almost feeling like desperation mode with a smoke play like this, that Voidboys really need to get something going their way. They scout out the Roche. They know the Troll could do it at his convenience here. It's not going to be there, and they are going right into Leviathan turf, but there's no one nearby. The closest being Flying Zebra, almost close enough to pop the smoke, but it looks like Voidboys are not going to get anything out of it, so unfortunately for them, more time wasted. They see an Obs Ward on the way back, and Leviathan are going to be sitting pretty as this mid-game continues to develop in their favor. You're looking at all top 3 net worth belonging to Leviathan, with Shredder at the top on his Troll, Shibby right behind, and of course Nusham on his Enigma. This is a very slow-paced start for Voidboys when they're banking on hoping to have Medusa be really prominent in the late game. And now, Leviathan,
Roche.
they're going to smoke up and go right for what I imagine being, yeah, that Roche.
Yeah, Medallion of Courage just came out for the Skywrath. They have the Hamlet Dominator, Sanjin Yasha on Troll. They're going to take this very cleanly, and with the lanes being pushed in as they are, the Batrider like showing himself clearing out waves on the mid, you generally don't expect it. Like this is really hard to see coming, and the amount of time it takes for a troll, medallion, and even the OD with that battle trance, yeah, that's just too quick to deal with. And of course, No Song the Siren also hurts their potential. They can't engage for another 20 or so seconds just based on the fact they don't have that cooldown. But man, I still got to go back to that mid fight, and I gotta say, Leviathan really took a pick out of Navi's book there with the fact that they were able to respond so well with their spells. The big thing, not only the silence from the Skywrath Mage, but the OD actually self-imprisoned, so that he didn't take any of the follow-up damage. The Sonic Wave, all that stuff was negated. The OD comes out with full health, just turns it with the Sands Eclipse. So he essentially was playing the Juggernaut in that sense, just spinning away, but he just puts himself under and takes him out for the first few seconds of that initiation.
So now with Aegis in hand, Leviathan got to feel confident to at least clear out the remaining Tier 1 down here at the bottom, and then maybe even make a push towards those Tier 2s. The Precious Troll on their team certainly helps with accelerating their objective taking. And going against Medusa, you certainly want to be able to restrict the farm from Voidboy so that any small little glimmers of farm, they're going to be forced to give it to their Medusa, and that's going to leave everyone else stuck with table scraps as far as getting creeps for themselves. And you're talking about a Tidehunter who's only got 1,100 gold right now, pushing towards, I imagine, a 20, 23-minute Blink Dagger if he doesn't get taken down. But we have Leviathan converging, coming in from behind, and he throws out the slow. He's going to go right, immediate self-grave. And now the song flies. Shark has Ravage if he wants to use it, but so does Nusham with his Black Hole. And they're on the chase. Concussive Shot going to connect on Fly. Fly's going to pull out the split right there to try to avoid it. And it looks like they will be able to get away. Leviathan don't have to expend a whole lot. And Voidboys are just going to be pressured back. More dominance coming out from Leviathan, though, as we get to the 18, 19-minute mark.
Even if they had the chance to Ravage in that fight, it wouldn't really matter. There was such a good spread from Leviathan. They've got a mechanism, they've got an Aegis. Shredder is happy to go right on the front lines here, and having nearly 522 MS with the Phase Boots and Sanjin and Yasha, he's able to just go right in for the kill and for so many big cooldowns. Again, this Song of the Siren ultimate is a whopping 3-minute cooldown at level 1, and it's not going to be up for possibly a base. Like, that's how much they have going for them right now. Leviathan are looking to close this one out pretty early, as they've, like you said, made it so that the Medusa is the one taking all the farm. The Tide can't get anything, and the Naga support is now pretty much useless without Croissant.
They just have to be so cautious with their positioning. If they're just a little bit outside of their leash zone, Jenkins will be right there to nab him. And if he gets a hold of Tidehunter at this point, that would be the prize target, because only a Ravage can really stop him from getting what he wants with that song being down. So he's going to be the gatekeeper right here, and he flies up ahead to kind of scout out from above, but they already take down the 2 Tier 2s. Now back on mid lane, they get their lasso on Mercy Please, who lives. Help of the Grave right there in the heal. So it's going to be unsuccessful. They tried to get it done with the dynamic duo between the lasso and the Mystic Flare from Flying Zebra, but it's not going to be enough. But still, I was banking that Leviathan with this Aegis, we're going to be able to maybe take that Tier 1 and some Tier 2s. Well, they do that. There's only one more outer tower standing right now for Voidboys.
Yeah, nice response from the Dazzle, though. Getting the second point in the Shallow Grave allows him to actually make that play, keep his ally alive, which is huge, because Queen of Pain, losing that gold, would have lost her the Orchid. Not sure how effective the Orchid's going to be, considering she's about to be up against 3 BKBs, one already up for the OD, one en route for the Enigma, and pretty soon for the Troll as well. And that's same with the Ravage. You were talking about that. He'll soon get the Blink Dagger, but at the time that the 3 10-second BKBs are on the field, it just feels like the tempo is all in Leviathan's hands, and they've really outmatched the Voidboys here.
It's definitely feeling like it's Leviathan's game to throw at this point. Mistimed BKB, sloppy engagements, maybe one person going a little too balls to the wall could be something that Voidboys would love to get a hold of to get themselves back into this one, but as long as Leviathan keep up with this uniformed team play. Oh, here we go. They're making it go on bottom. They won't beyond. The Lincoln's going to be popped. He pulls out Stone Gaze, and they do need to turn their backs, but they get Shibby with it. Shibby's going to be eating a lot of damage. He's got to walk away. Pops out the BKB. Here comes Shark. He's waiting for the BKB. Doesn't want to pull out the Ravage. Step back, and that ult not going to be doing enough. Shibby could be going down here. The BKB is about to go, but the Black Hole catches on 2. Mystic Flare follow-up, and it's going to be a potential slaughter. Shark can't get off the Ravage. Lasso's going to be there from Jenkins, and it's going to be not enough. Fly pulls out the song. Buyback. He still has Ravage here.
No!
Oh my god, he doesn't come back. It's not going to work, and Leviathan are going to be A-okay.
They still have an Aegis. They don't have to worry about the Tide for another 10 seconds. They'll get some easy tower damage. They waste the Tide's buyback. Oh gosh, and another Song of the Siren. Like, that is just so gorgeous for Leviathan. I can't believe that black hole came out as it was. There are a number of things that you have to worry about, even as a BKB Enigma, to try to get a black hole off. You have to worry about Ensnare, you have to worry about the Medusa's ultimate, the Stone Gaze, and you also have to worry... I had a third, but I actually can't recall it at the moment. Anyways, you just get... As long as those two are on cooldown, as they were, you can just go in and make an amazing play happen, and that's what we saw there. So, yeah, the BKB and Enigma guarantees a very beautiful black hole, and from there, I mean, Voidboy, they're just looking, their main objective is to get a third kill. Like, they can't bring anybody down with 4 stats, BKB's mechs, Shibby, to all rights, being petrified under the tier 2 tower, he should have been dead.
Yeah.
But they just have so many ways to respond to bad situations. They have, like, life insurance times 10.
Yeah, the fresh and shiny 10-second BKB certainly does help, but, and that was a point when Leviathan, they weren't even all together there. It looked like that they didn't want to overextend because they didn't have everyone around, but because of the amount of time that I guess Shibby was able to stall not dying, they were able to converge, but Leviathan get the upper hand. It's going to put Tidehunter even further off from a Blink Dagger. He's back once again at 1100, so your hopeful 23-minute Blink Dagger is now turning into a 26, 27-minute. And we already talked about the fact that when he even gets it, you already have fresh BKBs coming up. Shredder, he's probably has his any moment. Yep, he's got it if he wants it, with already the Mithril Hammer in his stash and plenty of gold. This is going to be rough. It's going to be a tall order right now and a steep hill to climb, if you will, for Voidboys to try to get back into this game. I imagine Leviathan, if they want to, they stall out a bit, go for the next Roche if they want to play it extra safe, get that Aegis, and push for high ground.
Shark is trying to make me a liar here. I said the Naga Siren was the support, but with that buyback, for a very short time period, the offlaner dipped below the poor support Naga in net worth. It's just like they're exhausting so much gold. He's getting nothing. He has 51 CS. A lot of that are smaller jungle camps, and expending that buyback, oh, the blink timing is just so far gone. They probably will actually be able to take a second Roche before the blink comes online for the Tide.
So with that, Leviathan do the smart thing. They're going to play a bit more passive at this point till they get the security of that extra life. And Voidboys, they're not looking to formulate any sort of behind-the-back play. They don't have really... Oh, they do have a smoke on the hand here of your Dazzle. I don't know if it's worth contesting. Maybe if they did have that precious Blink Dagger on the Tide, it'd be different. He does have 1,800 gold. It's going to be tricky timing here. We're going to be waiting just about another 20 seconds before we'll see the secondary timer on this Roche clock. But I have to say, Leviathan just look very comfortable. I mean, it's a above 15K net worth lead for their team, about the same for XP. They got to be feeling pretty good here. It is a best of 3, mind you, so if Voidboys are to go down, they still have another chance to even things up in game number 2 here. But it's definitely not looking good at the start here for game number 1.
Yeah, they're still going to keep their heads in the game, not really focus on Game 2 until they know that this one is completely out of their hands. But as it stands, there is some comeback potential. Obviously, Medusa can carry very hard indeed. The Queen of Pain is going to look to kind of build her momentum a little bit more, not just with the Orchid, but with an Aghanim Scepter. And Naga Siren could get some decent utility items for herself. But a lot is on the Medusa right now, and her first item pickup was a very defensive one. The Linked Sphere is a very great item. Iascati also very powerful in a defensive manner because both of them provide intelligence, which is extremely valuable for the Medusa. But she really needs to be picking up some damage now because, I mean, if she just picks up the defensive items, if she just goes for Scotty, Lincoln's Manta, then she's not actually going to be a threat in the fights, and they can just ignore her and take out the more high-priority targets like the Tide and like the Queen of Pain. But with the Blink Dagger online on the Enigma, they're going to look to take this Roche pretty easily, and that timer is not long enough.
Oh, Jenkins will need to pop this Lincolns if he wants to get this lasso done here as he kind of vultures over beyond here. But there's going to be the ping out, and he immediately blinks, grabs a hold of the invis, and will maybe nurse that for now. He has the gem now on hand, so he's looking to de-ward as much as possible. He flew by a ward here a couple of times, but couldn't quite see it to take it out. But they want to restrict the map vision, make Voidboys feel a little too uncomfortable as far as stretching out and finding farm anywhere. Shark is back, but hey, he's got a Blink Dagger now, and so does Shredder. So Shredder, after his BKB, picks up a Blink Dagger on his troll.
Yeah, gets involved very quickly. This is another reason that you ban out the Shadow Demon, is because Troll does not like to be kited, and now you can just instantly close the distance, blink BKB, pop his whirling axes, and from there you just can't get away. You get bashed, you get slowed, you get a lot of right clicks against you. And mind you, his battle trance is now at rank 3 as well, so the OD is hitting really fast, he's hitting really fast, and they've got tons of control for it. Jenkins, though, pops up, breaks all the smoke, but he's in a bad spot and will blink out. This is good that they didn't get picked off, but still not as clear-cut in taking Roche very shortly. They both know that it's up, or at least Leviathan do. I'm not sure if Voidboys were able to scout it out, but in either case, yeah, Voidboys try to make a smoke play to maybe follow that up with a Roche, which would build a ton of momentum for their team, and in the end, they're not able to unveil the Blink Dagger in the way they want.
Yeah, so they walk away, don't want to be stalling out too much time, not finding farm on anyone, so they separate and do their own thing. Jenkins needs to scout out and make sure there's no wards nearby to see them potentially going for the Roche. He is just one mountaintop away from seeing that ward. So they have vision.
Gems coming out from both sides, by the way. The Fly on the Naga Siren picked his up so long ago. He's like, okay, Urn of Shadows, Magic Wand. That's pretty luxury for me. Let's go for Gem. Let's go for the expendable purchase. But he's held on to it, and obviously we just see it now picked up on the other side as well. Yeah,
with those illusions, of course, from Naga, definitely allows her to get this safety warding. One of the perks, I guess, to having a support Naga that we don't see a whole lot of anymore. But here they go into the pit. The Naga illusion scouts it out, so Voidboys have to know this is happening, but they are on other parts of the world right now, so there is going to be no hope for contention. They're just trying to hopefully maybe get this tier 1 top, which is going to be glyphed. Roche is going to be taken down. Are they rotating towards the top? Well, they already have Shibi coming in at the tier 2 and moving on forward here. They will take that tier 1, it looks like, for the Voidboys. Leviathan not quite looking up to contest, but now with Aegis on hand, they can maybe clear out the final tier 2 there at the bottom and push the high ground.
Yeah, big decision here. The Queen of Pain last hits the tower, and she immediately buys her Aghanim Scepter in full. Does not wait for buyback in any manner. Only level 13 means her respawn timer isn't that big of a deal, but yeah, she is just going to be looking to put out 2 ultis and play a little bit further back in the fights there. But obviously it enhances the damage output, as well as giving her that 40-second cooldown, and she's going to be helping cover Beyond down bottom, who's going to be taking the farm for the rest of the game. Like, before it was a little bit split towards the Queen of Pain. She needed items, but at this point, no item will really bail her out of things like the lasso and the black hole. You can try to go for another Lincoln Sphere maybe, but overall, she's going to be giving the farm to Medusa 100% of the time.
So now it looks like Team Leviathan coming down from the north here. Shredder leading out the front confidently with that Aegis in hand. He's already got 2k gold saved up in reserve, maybe for the buyback just in case, but obviously he's a very wealthy man. Top of the net worth right now near 16k just for himself. And now you have both Nusham and Jenkins with each their own blinks, each their own possibilities on making that quick nab here. Going to be kind of your eyes in the skies to scout things out, and it's going to be a lot of pressure here on the Voidboys to get a strong early initiation. There's going to be your first scream to kind of wipe out the wave and maybe do a little bit of damage here to Shredder, but he kind of shrugs it off, and he's already going to be coming back in with that new wave. So this is tremendous right now. Voidboys need to have a good defense, or this could be game.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing the best they can with just a really long-range poke and prod counter push here. The Sonic Wave, the Mystic Snake, it helps, but Medusa might be able to lead 16 from this next wave, and that's when they have to kind of make their stand. Eventually, this War of Attrition will go in favor of Leviathan. They will be able to chip a little bit better with the Eidolons that are going to be summoned by Nusham, and in general, this is just the approach has to be contested by Voidboy.
Shark is so far back in a safe position to make sure he can find the most optimal Ravage time, but that ain't going to be easy against this Leviathan lineup with all those precious BKBs at the ready. So execution is going to be the utmost importance here for your Voidboys. Leviathan just kind of need to seal the deal on this game number 1. Aegis, plenty of time to work with here. They just continue with their slow siege game. I'm curious to see if Voidboys are just going to wait for Leviathan to potentially make a mistake, or if it's going to be Voidboys who make the jump on their own.
Almost taking the tier 3 there. The battle trance will pop, very short cooldown, and again, risking absolutely nothing because of the Aegis the Immortal, which they will keep using here to most likely go for the racks next. I mean, there's a huge bounty team-wide when you bring those racks down, so you definitely want to commit for something a little bit more than this within the next 2 minutes. Leviathan have too big an advantage to spoil it now, but they have to be careful about their approach. If they actually commit to a team fight, you have to be looking for the Medusa's positioning, the Tide's positioning, that Stone Gaze, that Ravage. It's scary stuff.
Shredder's in there. He pops the ultimate. He starts going for the racks. The range one first. There's the jump in lasso going on the fly. And the black hole follow-up. Shark is waiting. The BKBs are up. He can't pull out the Ravage yet, but they're able to burst down and quickly take apart Fly, who is going to buy back. Shark is still there. Can't find the opportunity for the Ravage. He's going to hold on to it. Leviathan get the 1 racks, pop a BKB or 2 on the way, and step on out. And so with that, the first damage inside the base really has been done, and they're going to pick up a little bit of a bounty bonus from that racks. It is only a ranged racks. It's not the end of the world for Voidboys, though.
Yeah, I'm actually really impressed with how Duchamp has been mining these black holes. Like, he's finding ones that would be really difficult to, like, just geometrically fathom. Like, the aspect of how they're all spread around the racks, it seems like it's difficult to find every clump, but he found a really good 3-man black hole. The problem was the Medusa's ultimate was active. Stone Gaze had already been ticking on him for about a second, so after he started channeling the black hole, immediately got canceled by that Stone Gaze, BKB or not. But Shark and Danush Shredder actually might find each other. The Blink Dagger is there, but he does not commit. He is completely solo after all. So he'll just fall back. The Aegis will expire, but they do build up their forces here. They get the Sheepstick, and at this point they can either continue to take the Medusa out of the fight, or if they feel threatened by the Tide, they can buy 3.5 seconds by sheeping him. They can't kill him because of Kraken Shell, but they can just keep him away, delay his spells, and kill everybody else.
So we could see potentially a rinse and repeat of what we saw previously here if Leviathan want to play it the slow game right now, but they're kind of nearby. They could catch Fly, Blink Force Control, and the lasso follow-up. Your Naga is going to be sliced apart into sweet sashimi fish. And with that, it's only going to be a 35-second death timer, though, on that Naga.
But they did get the gem.
But yeah.
That's 2 gems on Jenkins right now.
I mean, at that point, Voidboys didn't really have much vision out there, but they were hoping to at least get some of it back, but now it's not going to be happening. Certainly not with that gem. And it's funny to know, I mean, Voidboys only 2 kills this game. 2 times have they taken down Leviathan. Just been clean-cut play coming out from Leviathan, at least in game number 1.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Yeah, and most of the time, like, Leviathan has just been playing this too well with 4 stabs, with mech difference play. He's just been responding to situations, and I would say there have been 2 or 3 kills that should have happened, but Leviathan outplayed Voidboys, and they were able to disengage so smoothly. I mean, these kills, they haven't happened for a very long time. The second kill happened at about the 7.5 minute mark, maybe 8 minutes. So, for the past, I don't know, 26 minutes, they have gotten absolutely nothing but a little bit of farm on the Medusa.
It's been a struggle as far as finding the pickoffs in action for yourself. It's been all more of a PvE style game from Voidboys and kind of playing defensively to not hand over too much to Leviathan, but it's really hard at this point when they've got so much going for them. They have already breached past the 20k net worth advantage for themselves, 15k plus still almost at that point with the XP. And it looks like they can stall things out a little bit longer for the new Roche to pop up. We got about a minute or so until we see the new clock. I'm sure Voidboys, well, it's either option A, put up a contention in that Roche pit with your now Blink Ravage Shark and hope that things work out for yourself, or you go for another high ground defense.
Yeah, I mean, you generally speaking, with a Naga even support, you want to make a play like that, actually. Mid lane, Shredder probably looking to go. Yeah, he's already in. And bashes her down so quick she can't even decide whether or not she wants to pop the Song with Siren cooldown, which already would be a loss unless they turn around and kill Shredder. But they don't get the choice. She's just a hardcore bash down, and yeah, that's just going to be a clean pick-me-up for them. Fortunately, the Roshan's not going to spawn in the time that the Naga is dead, but again, with a Naga team, you want to look to contest generally with Song of the Siren. You can snatch the Aegis, you can finish off the Roche, a lot of cool things like that, but when you're up against so many BKBs, you can't follow that up with a team fight, because you can always spam the BKB faster, unless the tentacle from the Ravage is literally at your feet when the Song invulnerability ends.
We'll see. It just feels like at this point Leviathan have so much in their arsenal to work with that any sort of small opportunity that Voidboys could take to try to bring themselves back, Leviathan already to be 1, 2, maybe even 3 steps ahead. So they keep all lanes pressured and push forward so the Voidboys are going to be pushed back towards their base, and they won't be able to adventure out towards that Roche area, at least without being spotted. I am surprised at the lack of wards coming out from Leviathan, though, with this much of an upper hand. I'm seeing no real vision at all on the map at this point. No aggressive vision to see if they could be rotating around. Maybe just confidence at this point that they are in control, but just very curious to me to see that they don't have any wards down. There is some, it looks like in the stash here for at least Flying Zebra, but I recommend putting those in the Dota Earth.
Yeah, definitely putting them into play here. They still have like 4 minutes on their other pair, so yeah, at this point it's just the fact that they haven't been able to get that pair down, and the fact that there have been a lot of sentries coming out from the side of Voidboy. So when they lost their gem, they still committed to sentries, trying to get some vision, mostly just to allow the Medusa to safely farm, but it's not going to allow them to take a fight, and certainly not here in the pit. That Aegis is going to go to Shibby on the OD, and I actually think there's some impetus here to try to end the game with this roast cycle. They, of course, could try to wait it out another 10 minutes if they have to, but it would be much, much smoother and a cleaner victory if they can do it with this cycle, because eventually the Medusa, missing only 1 Rax on her side, she's going to get a little out of control, and you just don't want to have to worry about those factors. So yeah, I'd have to say they look to end the game here, and I would say every roast cycle they wait, their win chance will drop by like 10% until the OD picks up his axe.
And during that period as well, Jenkins is able to throw together his BKB. That will be the 4th one on the team, making things even more sweaty for someone like Tidehunter to get that Pinnacle Ravage out there. Plus, the song is not going to be as effective if 4 of them can pop out from the slumber and really go toe-to-toe. But here's Shredder going toe-to-toe with that tower. He's got the Aegis in hand. Jenkins moves forward, tries to pop the Lincoln, pops his BKB. Tries to lasso away, but the ensnare's going to lock him in place. Jenkins could go down and will go down.
Ouch.
Nusha blinks forward, trying to get the mech off in time, but it's not going to matter. So Jenkins, unfortunately, will be losing his life. That dive in, bit ambitious right there. Maybe wasn't banking on the lockdown factor with that ensnare coming out. He could not get himself away.
The big thing there is he had to use his Force Staff to pop the Lincoln, so he can't use Force Staff to disengage and pull the target out. The other thing was that the Sungaze had already come out, so oh, wow.
Nice cheat. Mercy's down. There's the Ravage, but they're BKB. They don't care about that. He's trying to make a go on Zebra, but they are already moving on the fly. Song's not going to matter when they got the golden glow happening for them. The Avatar is very much real in there. You're going to see also the Dazzle drop. Buyback is going to be forced to come out from Quap. Shark is just like, please come follow me. Don't go near the base. Take this slow, wounded animal down. They get it right there. It's going to be Flying Zebra dominating right now on his Skywrath Mage, but Leviathan come out on top once more, and they will parade down this bottom lane and looks to finishing this game out.
Yeah, Queen of Pain bought back, so she has nothing left to offer but this last ultimate, perhaps her last of the game, as Leviathan are looking strong. They'll have mech back up in 25 seconds, and the 2 big cores in the front line here are looking to go.
Oh, there we go. Move forward beyond Lincoln's going to be popped, and another black hole's going to catch on 2. Beautifully set up from Nushem. He has been on point with his black holes this game, and now Beyond is going to be in trouble as the Scotty in full force coming out from Shredder, and there we have it. Void Boys have had enough. Leviathan are going to win game number 1 of this best of 3.
One big factor is I think the fact that we haven't seen that much Enigma play in the past several months. There's been a few, Zai has been playing quite a bit, but not most recently. And I would have to say that Void Boys are just a little, I wouldn't say they forget how to play against Enigma, but they're a little bit unwary about how to position against him. And when it happens, when it connects, it's just so devastating. Nusham, he pulled out 3, maybe even 4 amazing black holes. I guess the one that got canceled pretty quickly didn't matter too much, but in the end, he was able to initiate for his team. Jenkins played some great Dota as well, and Void Boys, all they can really bring to the table is their 3rd kill of the game here at the 39-minute mark. Some nice attempt and a good draft overall. I think that this lineup could have gone the distance, but they just have made a few too many errors, and Leviathan just straight up outplayed them in a few instances.
Yep. Props to Leviathan. They walk away with the win in game number 1. Void Boys are going to be looking to shake this off and bounce back, but it's going to be match point for Leviathan as we go into game number 2. That's going to be coming up here in just a few moments. Folks, thanks for coming by and showing your support. It's the major All-Stars event, and it's a 100K prize pool base. You can show your support by purchasing that ticket. It is going to be crowd-funded, so every small piece of that ticket purchase is going to go towards that prize pool and for the players. For the coverage, it's us over on Beyond the Summit. Go ahead and hit that follow button and show us some support on our Twitters, myself at KotLGuy, and of course Blaze. Catch him over at Blaze Casting. We'll be back in just a few moments for game number 2 of Leviathan taking on Void Boys.